What's going on, everyone? Alex Da Silva, happy as Larry Group. I hope you are well, and welcome to another daily dose of happiness. It's a slightly later one, but it's okay. No one's going to judge me. And today's self-care episode is actually a really interesting one and a very powerful one. And today I want to talk about asking for help. And that for me was one of the hardest things I can ever do. One, because I'm very stubborn. Two, I am very free as an individual. Four, I think pride and ego was something that got in the way as well. There was a lot of shame and embarrassment for me asking people for help, because I've always grown up in a family where, we pretty much came from very humble beginnings, and, we've always worked very hard to achieve everything that we have. And, life isn't perfect, but one of the things I've learned is asking for help is a really, really tough thing to do. And many of you know, I'm very open about it. I'm also in recovery. And the 12-step program, the first step, is admitting, our problems. And the first stage of one of our flagship programs is actually asking for help. Weirdly enough, so when this came up, I thought actually definitely looking forward to doing this. And there are so many things. Even there is other books that I've read where he talks about asking for help, and being able to reach out. So this doesn't just apply to personal life. This also applies in relationships. I talked about communication yesterday, and talked about sharing your emotions, your feelings, what's going on for you, openly, honestly, humbly, vulnerably. Because what I found, my personal experience around this, and what I found from a professional experience and things that we've witnessed, is this is when miracles start to happen. This is when things start to change. Asking for help is one of the most powerful things a person who's suffering, who's struggling, who's in pain can do. And the reason this is so tough to do is because when you're at your lowest of lowest, you've gone through rock bottoms after rock bottoms, and you just keep falling and keep falling and keep falling, and eventually you land on your hands and knees, and you look up and the sky seems so far away, it almost seems impossible to think that anybody will ever want to help you. Especially in my experience, where I've made so many mistakes, I've hurt so many people, and I thought, who's going to help me? Who's going to be there for me at the end of this? After everything that I've done, after all of the mistakes that I've made, what am I going to do now? And that's when I then started to discover, actually ask for help and see what happens. So I did. I actually asked for help. And I actually asked Lucy for help. I asked my wife for help. She wasn't my wife then. She was my Tinder date. Shh, don't tell anyone. She was my Tinder. She was my Tinder date, and that's how it started. Somebody that I've never met in my life, and we came across each other on a dating app, and we clicked. And next thing you know, we match, we talk, and we start to get to know each other. And next thing you know, I'm like, I've got some issues here. And from what you're telling me, you seem to have overcome a lot of what I have. What did you do? And here we are, almost 4 years. Next month, June the 12th, 4 years down the line. Still here, clean and sober, getting better and better every day. From a personal perspective, business, relationships, you name it, nothing is perfect. I never seek perfection. I just seek to continuously improve every day. And I've learned, and Lucy can be a testament to this, is I still every now and then struggle to ask for help, but I try. It takes me a little bit longer. I'm getting quicker and better at it. But here's the thing, there isn't, it's not a magic pill. All of a sudden everything is going to change. It's about the willingness to try. It's about the willingness to let go. And it's about the willingness to just say, I can't do this by myself. And as soon as you're able to do that, you're literally chipping away at that ego. And the ego is the one thing that will kill you. And I'm being real here. Your ego will kill you. And I have seen it, and it's heartbreaking when self-will and ego takes over, and then it's pride, and it's also then you start to think, as I mentioned before, about shame and embarrassment, and you name it. There are so many other things that we could talk about. Fear is another one. So if you are struggling today, right now, you don't have to comment below. I know that sometimes this is something that can be very personal, but if you are feeling strong and you are at the end of the tether and you think, I need help, ask for help right now. Put a comment below, or put somebody's name that really needs help. And between Lucy and I, we'll do everything that we can, whether we can help them or whether we can suggest somebody that can, because as a collective we are always stronger. On our own, we will always struggle. We can get by, but life isn't about getting by. I'm starting to discover, life is about smashing it. Life is about enjoyment. Life is about fulfillment. Life is about happiness, unconditional love. And it takes works to get to that, because the conditioning that we've had through our upbringing, through society, through media, through TV, everything. And I'm not even talking about right now, I'm just talking as a collective throughout life. These things make it so much harder for us to do it. When I'm looking into entrepreneurship and I'm watching these guys and women who are phenomenal at what they do, and I think, how am I going to get there? I'm not there. Of course I'm not there. These people are years ahead of me. So I ask for help with the right people, and I continue to grow every time. So ask for help, because help, you never know what could be on the other side of that door. Sometimes we can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, but all we need is the right person to guide us. Sometimes we just need a person to hold that torch on our behalf until we're close enough and we can walk on our own. And then what you do then is you become the person that can hold that torch, and you can guide somebody else into the light at the end of the tunnel. There is always a light. There is always hope. There is always a solution. It's about taking that first step. That's what it is. It's the first step of just saying, I'm struggling. So if you are struggling, send me a message privately, let me know. Or you can comment below. Cheryl, I noticed that you comment there. Yesterday was so hard, today's better. Good, I'm glad. And if there is anything you want to share, anything you want to talk about, let me know. I'm always here for you. And we are going to have good days. And sometimes we're going to have bad days as well. I don't have great days every day. And there are times when, even Lucy struggles, but we talk about it. And it's, as I said, it's not about perfection. There is no right or wrong. It's not about comparing my life to somebody else. Oh, don't they have it better than me? Yeah, maybe they do, because they're probably doing something that you're not doing. So if you want to reach that, or you want to surpass, that, then you need to start doing something about it. That's the nuts and bolts of it. But it's important to have the right person there. And one of the things that I found is that the people that helped me showed me nothing but unconditional love, patience and continuous learning, and, and just teaching all the time, teaching and learning, and it's an incredible journey. So I wanted to talk about it. I can go on for a long time on this, because it's something that, it means a hell of a lot to me. It has completely changed my life. You had an angry day yesterday. Well, hey, listen, sometimes we have those. Yeah, we do too. Lucy had a bit of an angry day. I had an angry day not too long ago. So good for you. Listen, experience those emotions. It's so important to kind of experience it, and if you do need to... Pardon? I don't know. What is under the anger? Oh, there you go. Oh, Lucy was asking a question. What's under the anger? What was the cause of your anger? Shell, that was a good question actually from Lucy. What was the cause of the anger? And that's one of the things to kind of look into and find out more. Because sometimes we're holding on to things that really don't need for us to kind of put that energy into it. So yeah, which is why asking for help is so phenomenal, and especially, you know, with what we do, calling somebody, picking up the phone, and, you know, talking it out with somebody else is a huge solution. You know, it makes things so much easier. You couldn't work it out. Well, you know, as you said, today's a better day. Hopefully, it's not something that's gonna bug you and wind you up and make you angry anymore. So sometimes we just have those days. Sometimes I think we just need to let go of it. And if you're feeling angry, sometimes just allow your body to let go of it. Sometimes it's something that we don't necessarily need to pin anything to it, but it's just there. And listen, I'm one of those people, I'm sure Lucy can vouch for it as well, and by the sounds of it, you just had one of those days too, where it's just one of those days where I just wake up, I do my meditation, I do my affirmations, and, you know, I say all these positive things, and then in about an hour's time, I just want to kill everyone. And you know, and it's just one of those. So yeah, I get it, and I just feel angry. But here's the thing, it's okay. It's okay to feel angry. It's okay to feel sad. It's okay to just feel a little bit depressed, or maybe stressed, or maybe anxious. But the most beautiful thing about it is your emotions will always pass. That feeling will always pass. As you clearly said, Shell, it passed. Today you feel much better. And that's the thing, is just allowing to let go of things. So asking for help, if you're really struggling, that's what it does. It's a release, you know, it's like a release mechanism. You know, you're holding on to something really, really tight, and you're saying, I'm not going to let go, whatever happens. And somebody just comes up to you, puts their arm on your shoulder and say, it's all right, let go, I've got you. And then as soon as you let go, all of a sudden the pressure, you know, that pain starts to soothe, and you start to feel calmer. Yeah, well, there you go. Listen, crying is a huge thing. There's clearly a lot of things that you need to let go of, and that's beautiful. Good for you. Yeah, good for you for experiencing that. I think crying, listen, as a man, I'll share this out loud. I was never a crier, even at funerals. It could be the closest people in my family. I never used to cry. And recently now, even sometimes films, Lucy would turn around and like, my eyes are welling up. And she goes, are you crying? I'm like, no, it's just a really nice film. And start to get really emotional. But that's a good thing. And then sometimes, you know, there are sad memories that come up that make me, I've started to realize now that as the famous quote is, it's better out than in. And I often say this, and I say this with a lot of confidence. If there is a bad emotion sitting in there, it's like poison, you know. And the reason we feel so uncomfortable, the reason it makes us experience those negative emotions, is because your body needs to find a way to release it. So screaming, shouting, writing it down, crying, all of these methods are a way to, you know, to let things out. Picking the phone up and speaking to someone, you know, making sure that you are asking for help, that you are sharing that with somebody. You know, these things are so important, so important. So look, I'm glad you're feeling well. Guys, as always, thank you for watching, for liking, for sharing, and leave your comments. Don't be ashamed, don't be embarrassed. You know, that's ego. The most beautiful thing about vulnerability is that's where strength is built. Vulnerability is the foundation to become the greatest version of yourself. And trust me, I found that out. You know, as I said, I'm coming up to 4 years now, clean and sober, and my life has just become, I'm on another level. And it's down to people like Lucy, my mentors, and people who have been around me, Shell, and people who are my friends, you know, who are here supporting and commenting. You guys keep me going, and it's beautiful to see. So thank you, because this has helped me. And that's the thing that I want to share. As a collective, as a community, everything that we put out there, we get back. So, you know, this makes my day every time I do a video, because it just, one, it keeps me clean and sober for one more day, but two, it also, I'm helping one person hopefully out of this, you know. And that's always been our mission statement, helping to change the world one person at a time. So listen, have an amazing day, afternoon, evening, wherever you are in the world. And as always, be great, be fantastic, and be absolutely phenomenal today. And as I said, if you need, ask for help. If you need anything, leave it on the comments. If it's something that's quite serious, then send me a private message. I'm always here to help and support however I can. Listen, you guys are phenomenal. I love you always. And yeah, let's have an amazing evening, and I will speak to you guys tomorrow. Take care.